The Tigers moving out from the dressing room. Important for them to keep the roll on. They've been in very good form. 4 wins in a row after those early season 2 losses, when everyone suddenly thought, well, are the Tigers going to perform in 1990? They're on the roll at the moment. They want to keep it going. 7 players backing up from City Country for Balmain, 4 for Newcastle. Gary Jack is fullback, number 40. Gary Jack, McGarry on the wing with McCann in the centre. Brasher, number 1, playing in the centre today. James Grant moves to the wing. Neil and Freeman, the halves. In the forward lineup, well, we're pretty familiar with it now. Hardwick, Elias, that's John Elias, Siren and Maguire, Benny Elias, the captain, and Steve Roach, coach Warren Ryan. The Newcastle Knights, led out by Michael Hagan. Mark Sargent there wearing the headgear. Well, there are a few Newcastle supporters waving their big flags. Sam Stewart. And there's the lineup. At fullback is Marty Creaker. On the wing, Steve Fulmer, usually known as a halfback. Kemp and Doyle in the centres. Allenson is the winger. Hagan at 5'8", Robbie McCormack the halfback. The lock forward, Glanville. Second rowers are Boyd and Sam Stewart, back in first grade. Johnston. Referee McCallum says the ball was pulled out forward by Bruce Maguire. So he's going to pack it down and it'll be a Newcastle feed. Shaky start for Creaker.
Yeah, Bruce Maguire just stripped Creaker of the ball. They've certainly got problems, Newcastle. Last week they said they had problems with their marker defence. Well, there's no doubt that Benny Elias has certainly tested them in that area.
Robbie McCormack loses the ball. The Knights manage to retain possession. Heavy tackle from McCann. In the earlier games today, Balmain defeated Newcastle in the under-21s, 14-12. And reserve grade, another win to the Tigers. I should say to Newcastle there, 20 points to 16. It was 16 all late in the game. Newcastle came home strong in the last few minutes. Glanville takes it up. Loses the ball. Gathered in now by John Elias. Well, that's 3 times that Newcastle have already lost the ball. And we've had 1 minute of play.
It should be a fiery clash today. The corresponding match last year resulted in a 12-match suspension for Gary Freeman, so it's a very significant match for Gary Freeman.
Steve Roach taken by Sargent. Sirenen looms up, seemed to stop as he found the defence coming at him. In particular, Peter Johnston was coming straight at him. Freeman. The kick in behind Fulmer on the wing. Allowed it to bounce. Luckily for him that it just bounced directly on for him and he was able to fall on it. Plenty of chasers coming through to apply pressure. Good tackle by Mick Neal on Creaker. Hagan calls for it.
Young Fulmer down the background there as a result of that heavy knock.
Peter Johnson hitting some heavy defence from Sirenen and Freeman. Jeff Doyle trying to drag them away from his own goal area. There's Steve Fulmer. Copped a heavy knock after falling on that ball. Sargent takes it up. He's met by Roach. The 5th tackle. McCormack under pressure from Neil. Gary Jack can't quite get to it on the full.
Don Ferner out here today to have a look at the form of Gary Jack.
And there's going to be a caution issued here against Sam Stewart. No, in fact, it's Tony Kemp, another New Zealander, going in a little high on Gary Jack, and the penalty goes to the Tigers. I'm sure Don Ferner will be having a close look because with something of a doubt hanging over Greg Alexander, who everyone was tipping to pick up the New South Wales fullback spot, all of a sudden, Gary Jack's back in the running.
In the past, it's been a formality, hasn't it? Tony Kemp coming in has been ruled a little bit higher, definitely around the head.
Grant.
Hardly coming into the head bin. No doubt we'll see Wayne Pearce come on. Here comes Junior.
And there goes Benny Elias back inside as Maguire. James Grant pulled back. Has to be a penalty if McCallum surely saw it. No, he hasn't seen it. Grant was pulled back. He would have scored a try without any doubt. A loose pass goes on out to Gary Jack. Tackled by Boyd. James Grant screaming at the touch judge about Allenson having held him back. Freeman, Neil. Sirenen's lost it. Toe through. Tony Kemp, play on, says the referee.
The linesman's coming in now.
Touch judge coming in now. Referee ruling the ball had been knocked on by Newcastle, but now
David Boyd, I think. Warren held back. Support play of Balmain.
We'll just wait and see exactly who is going to be called out here.
I would think David Boyd is the man in question.
Here's the incident when Maguire made the break. Now here in the right-hand side of your picture, Allenson, I think it was, or Boyd?
David Boyd it is, and he's held him back. He's talking to David Boyd now about the incident.
But if that's the incident, why did the touch judge wait so long to come in?
Well, they were playing the advantage, Warren. I think they thought they might have scored May from the ensuing tackle.
Well, he certainly did play the advantage. He went on with it for a long time. David Boyd, 5 minutes in the sin bin. Have another look here.
Here it is. Benny Elias makes a break. Bruce Maguire in support. And James Grant looming up. And here he is held back by David Boyd.
With the swinging arm at James Grant, or put it this way, they both laid hands on each other. That was after Grant had been held back. The referee may have been speaking to Steve Roach about pulling the headgear off Mark Sargent. 9 metres out from the line. The Tigers on the attack. Roach. No love lost between these two packs. Elias in a dummy half. Just a few metres out. Long ball for Freeman. Neal. Quick hands onto McCann. Beautiful hands. McCann sucks the opening and he's through it. Great work by Ian McCann. Nice long balls on the inside to put him into the space. And the first point's on the board to Balmain. They lead 4-0. Benny Elias at dummy half. The long ball to clear the ruck. Gary Freeman keeps it going with a dive pass. Mick Neal, beautiful quick hands. That really was the final wrapping up of the try, because then McCann had room to move. Sliced through between Hagan and McCormack. They seemed to hang off him, thinking that he would keep the ball moving wide.
Yeah, if you have a look here, already Balmain have suspected that there is a problem out there with Joe Fulmer's wing and the defensive Doyle. And this is the area that they attacked. They had numbers 5-2. It was just a matter of McCann cutting back in.
Now Tim Brasher will attempt the conversion. No real breeze as Brasher moves in, pushes it to the left. Pierce. Maguire. Pierce spins around. Of course, Balmain in the end not having to win the ball from the scrum because it was the 5th tackle. It was a handover. Ball kicked out on the full on the 5th. Here's Roach driven into the ground.
Had the ball available there. He should have had someone in support.
Elias the dummy. Straight through. Passes corner. Has supported Freeman. Freeman backs up all the way. And that's another classic try to the Tigers. The dummy from Benny Elias. He split the forwards. But you can't use brute force. You can always outthink them. And Gary Freeman backing up beautifully. 8 points to 0 in favour of the Tigers. Look at Elias, the dummy. The marker, Sam Stewart, had run away without keeping an eye on Elias, and once Elias split them, there was no stopping Freeman. Notice the marker play here. Stewart drifting wide.
We spoke about it before that Newcastle had problems with their marker defence, and they've certainly exposed that area. Benny Elias, simple play, just straight up the middle, throws the dummy. They buy Sam Stewart buying the dummy, drawing Marty Creaker, simple pass to Gary Freeman in support. Steve Roach even there backing up.
Try to Gary Freeman. Scored 5 tries from his 10 games in 1989. Of course, he missed 12 weeks under suspension after the gouging incident with Mark Sargent. In this game, or the equivalent of this game last year. Tim Brasher right in front. In he comes, and that's right over the black dot. So Balmain skip away to a very handy lead now. 10 points to 0. So the disciple up against the master today. 5th tackle. Johnston lifts the kick high. This is a booming kick. And luckily for him, it takes the bounce back into the field of play. Jack does well. Managed to get past Hagan. That was all he needed to do, just to get back into the field of play and make a couple of metres. Looked for all the world as if the kick from Johnston would go dead in goal. Now the Balmain player has been found offside here.
A little bit of bad luck here as Damien McGarry unloads the ball. It comes off Bruce Maguire, and Damien McGarry falls on the ball, but a little bit unlucky. If Dame McGarry's not, if Bruce Maguire's not there, the possibility that Balmain could have went all the way.
Creaker, just in front of the left-hand upright. Hits it, and the flags are up. So first points on the board for Newcastle. They're down by 10 points to 2. There's 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. McCormack. Good tackle from Hardwick. Swinging arm from Sirinen, but I don't know that deserved a caution because McCormack was ducking. Sirinen is a very tall man.
It was just a confrontation between David and Goliath, and Sirinen was just trying to get a piece of him. That's all, just trying to give him a little gentle hug.
Hardwick off, Wayne Pearce on again. I think Sirinen was a little unlucky there. Creaker, left footer, and the flags are up once more. So Creaker from right in front has made no mistake, 2 from 2, and Newcastle closed the gap. They're within 6 points. Balmain 10, Newcastle 4. Roach spins around and gets it to Freeman. Pearce, McCann stretches out. Good work, now gets it to his winger McGarry. Beautiful ball from Maguire, who's back on his feet. He's made a good recovery.
Well, that ball could have been forward from McGarry to Maguire.
Neil, Elias. Manages to get it to Jack eventually. Kemp rounds him up. Grant claps on the speed. Still going, Grant will score. He shrugged a couple of tackles off. They thought they had him. They thought he may have passed the ball, released him, and away he went. But determined running from James to the other. So a good attack down this right-hand flank. Then they swing it wide. Neil to Elias, who almost dropped it for a moment, had to get another grip on it. Gary Jack. So a good pass away to Grant. Now let's look at the defence here. Allinson gets hold of him. In comes McCormack. Allinson spun away from him. McCormack released him, and Grant sprints away for what was a very easy try in the end.
There's no doubt if Alan McMahon wasn't disappointed before, he'll be disappointed now, because this is really just a soft try. You have to have a look at this. A wide pass from Elias to Gary Jack. He offloads here to Grant. Grant spins out of a tackle by John Ellison. McCormack should have got him. Sam Stewart had his back turned to the defence. It was poor defence by Newcastle.
Brasher ready to get on with the kick. He slides it wide of the post. That was an easy one.
For the owner of car registration number
14 points to 4 in favour of the Tigers.
31 missed tackles. That's not a statistic that Alan McMahon's pleasing.
It's the 5th tackle against Balmain. Steve Roach to his feet. Gary Freeman darts away from dummy half. Has support on the inside. He kicks ahead. A race between McCormack and Brasher. Brasher, did he hang on to that ball long enough? No, he lost it. Brasher groping forward, trying to get hold of the ball. Gary Freeman steals away from the dummy half position, looked inside, but McCormack had blocked the pass, and then the race for the ball. Brasher just loses it. Freeman. Pearce cuts through, gets it back to Freeman, but he can't hang on to it, and Newcastle come away with the ball through Creaker. First time Wayne Pearce has really been able to thrust his way right through the defensive line today. But he will have enjoyed finding himself bursting into the open space.
They run the ball in the last tackle. Pearcey comes through the hole. Gary Freeman had a bit of daylight there had he held that ball.
Pass was a little low. Newcastle still scrambling to find holes. Johnston's lost it. It's anybody's ball. Grant picks it up. Sprinting away from Rodwell, and he'll bring it around for the try. James Grant picking up the scraps. Newcastle throwing the ball around. It went anywhere. The replacement, Matthew Rodwell, gets a warm welcome to first grade as Grant picks it up and races away. The Balmain Tiger dances. But look at this scrappy play. Peter Johnson couldn't hang on to it. Grant, first up off the ground, picks it up. Rodwell, number 33, gave chase. Nothing he could do. And Grant brings it around to make it easier for his kicker.
You have a look at this. Newcastle in the situation. They've got to play catch-up football, keep the ball alive. Peter Johnson fumbles. James Grant, simple situation. Pick the ball up. Open try line ahead of them.
James Grant has the nickname of Rara for obvious reasons. Tim Brasher has the ball placed out fairly wide. Brasher has the length, but way offline. So Balmain lead by 18 points to 4. When you look at Newcastle's efforts over the last 3 games, they played that 6-all draw with Penrith. That was the highlight virtually of their season, certainly in the last 3 weeks. But then they were knocked over 23-0 by Parramatta at Newcastle, and then whipped by Brisbane 28-4 at Newcastle. Here goes Parrish. Puts the ball inside for Freeman. Still alive to Elias. Elias for the line. Almost thought about the double movement. The ball knocked down by Doyle. Was he onside? Play on, says the referee. 6 more tackles. Freeman. Freeman trying to get to his feet and play it back. John Elias burrowing for the line. He's got it down. Good try by Elias. He did it the easy way, but took all his power to shove them out of the road. So Balmain now skipping away, 22-4.
This was just the result of the simple try. Johnny Elias going for an easy run from dummy half. Simple try to Johnny Elias. It was a result of good lead-up work, initially by Benny Elias. Benny Elias would have been tempted to have a go himself in the previous tackle, but Johnny Elias just pushes them out of the way. It was brute strength from Johnny Elias, a former East player.
Nothing wrong with brute strength when you're that close to the line. You've just got to get across that white line and get it down. John Elias has played with plenty of clubs. Let's go through them. Souths, Wests, Canterbury, Brisbane Souths, Easts. Fair lineup of clubs to have in your background.
Plenty of reunions to go to at the end of this season.
Brasher to add the extras. Makes no mistake this time. So Balmain have at long last started to assert their superiority on the scoreboard as well as on the field. They're leading by 24 points to 4 now. Carter finds a hole right up the middle. Tries to find support. Rodwell was coming through. Good tackle by Gary Jack. He hasn't missed any today at the back of the defence.
I would think Donny Fern would be very happy with his form.
Doyle. Setriadis are having another run. Looking for his winger, Fulmer, but the pass has gone loose. Newcastle unable to finish the few breaks they have made.
That's another reminder to all spectators.
And that's full time. All over here. Hasn't been a great spectacle of a match, but Balmain have done all they had to do. They have run out winners over Newcastle by 24 points to 4.